Fox News alert on court action for Maria Butina, the Russian agent just changing her plea to guilty on charges she tried to influence American politicians. Chief intelligence correspondent Catherine Herridge is live in Washington on this. Good morning, Catherine.
Well, thank you, Sandra. Good morning. This is ongoing, but we do have some headlines out of that federal court a short way from here at our bureau here in Washington that Maria Butina has pled guilty to one count of being an agent of a foreign government. In this case, that would be the Russian government. A lot of the hearing is also focused on what may be a violation of a gag order in the case. The federal judge has said to Butina that they have telephone recordings of a conversation she had with a journalist. She's not been supposed to be speaking with anyone beyond her legal team. What we're waiting for now is whether she will be cooperating with the government and the extent of that cooperation as part of the plea agreement. As we know from legal papers we reviewed in advance of today's plea, she allegedly targeted a gun rights association, the National Rifle Association, in order to infiltrate and influence American policymakers and political views. So we're waiting for more information on the extent of her cooperation and whether that will only apply to Americans who she was associating with or whether it may actually extend to Russian individuals as well. A very important, though, footnote as I send it back to you is that the Maria Butina case is not part of Robert Mueller's special counsel investigation. It is separate, but it follows a familiar theme, trying to better understand how Russians and other intelligence services, for that matter, try and influence decision makers here in Washington and elsewhere through individuals. And with today's plea, Maria Butina in this case, Sandra.
All right. So, and Catherine, you're clearly making the case. Obviously, it's separate from the Mueller investigation. Why this Butina case matters?
Well, the Butina case matters because it could really help investigators better understand the approach that the Russian government uses to gather intelligence inside the United States and how it tries to build a network of contacts, not necessarily with what I would call standard Cold War espionage, but individuals who may be co-opted who are inside the United States. Just as an example, Maria Butina was a student at American University here in Washington. So there's a question of the timing. At what point did she start working directly with the Russians to try and gather intelligence and infiltrate the NRA and sort of the degree of that infiltration. So it can be very helpful for the FBI in particular to understand how the Russians are operating inside the United States to gather intelligence through individuals like Maria Butina who don't fit the classic mold of sort of a Cold War hardened spy or spy master, if you will.
Catherine Herridge keeping track of so much for us. Thank you.